If you've been to the grocery store recently or in the last few years, you've seen a tremendous increase in the price of groceries. Well, you can't blame the grocery stores for it because the way grocery stores work is basically they just rent shelf space to other companies, like Procter and Gamble and Post and people like that. There's actually not a lot of markup for them and they don't control the prices at all, especially the meat prices. So who does control the meat prices? Well, for the answer to that, let's go to a very wise businesswoman.
Sell the heifers and the steers. What is that worth?
If I can get them to weigh 750, worth about $1,100.
Okay, so that's $1.50 a pound, Dad.
Well, Beth Dutton isn't real, but what she's saying absolutely is. That is the average price. Well, normally it's around $1.46 a pound. So it's not the ranchers that are causing the price increase. So who is it?
Now, the biggest meat processor in the United States is a Brazilian corporation. 10,000 acres of rainforest cleared every day for what? To raise cattle.
Now, I don't believe everything I see on TV, but I do know that she is absolutely right. 10,000 acres every day of our rainforest is being destroyed. The rainforest produces 20% of the Earth's oxygen and stores the majority of its carbon dioxide. So who is this Brazilian corporation? Let's ask.
I found another response. According to Food and Power, some 74% of beef slaughter is controlled by 4 companies: Tyson, JBS, Cargill, and National Beef.
So Tyson Foods is based out of Arkansas. Go America. Cargill is out of Colorado. But National Beef and JBS, the 2 largest ones, are Brazilian.
The future of the beef industry in the United States is no future.
Mm-hmm.
In 20 years, Brazil will be to American beef what China is to American manufacturing. There will be no more cattle in America.
Now just hold on there, naked TV lady. You see, modern agriculture was developed by the people of the United States. Great institutions like Texas Tech University or Texas A&M are the ones that designed the techniques and the science that we use today. So let's not fold the flag too quick here.
Is this the number to order beef?
Yes, ma'am, but you can do it online.
Can I be nosy?
Sure.
Is this your beef that you raise and sell online?
Yes, ma'am. Some comes from neighboring ranches because we sell out of all ours, but they follow the same program.
What the good riders of the Yellowstone are doing here is they're introducing the American public to farm-to-table operations. Farm-to-table operations allow the American public to get a better quality of meat at a reasonable price, and it allows the ranchers to get a fair price for their beef. But it has problems.
But one thing I do know is nobody has ever been able to figure out the repacker.
Yep. That's the problem. You see, they have to find processing plants, and they usually use smaller ones, and it takes about a year to get an appointment to go, to process your beef. Then they have to have distribution centers, that take the orders online, then packages them, and then ship them out. And not everyone's set up for that. As a matter of fact, very few people are set up for that. So you're probably asking yourself, why don't more people just build meat processing plants? And the problem with that is the lengthy process that you have to go through with the government to get it done. And it's hard to find investors or anybody who has that kind of money to sit on millions of dollars for 2 years. Investors don't want to wait that long for returns. Now, I'll give you, it's a tough problem, but solving tough problems is what Americans do, especially country Americans. There's a group of folks out of Newcastle, Texas at the 4J Ranch that are doing something about this. And if you'd like to meet them, I think I can make that happen. Now, the 4J Ranch is the 4th generation ranch. The patriarch of the family is Mr. Casey Jones. Casey was a visionary. Casey was a man who got things done and had a lifetime of achievements to prove that. Casey also was a proud American and a proud Texan. He left this planet in March of 2023, and when he did, he left a vision for the rest of the family. And down here in Texas, we have a saying, they aim to see it through. Well, if you can spare a little bit of your time, why don't you jump in here and go with us, grab your boots and your hat, and we'll go out and meet some of the people out at the 4J Ranch and share Casey's vision and what the rest of the family's doing to carry it out. So we're standing here in front of probably the oldest structure on the ranch. This barn was built in 1863. Man, a lot of things have changed. One of the biggest changes you guys are about to make is you're bringing swine here.
Yep.
And of course, swine has to be done in an eco-style barn. And where are we putting that at? Is that going?
Jason, right out that way, about 250 yards on top of that hill.
Okay.
It'd be a fully automated barn, all the way down to your cleaning, to your feeding, to birth control, all of that.
Okay, farrins and everything. So we're going to raise pigs too. We're going to raise, so they're all going to be home stock like a lot of the cattle.
Just like we are here, everything about it from start to finish.
Okay.
Genetics is going to be a lot of it, because this is where I want a college, because I want.
Wait a minute, what did Curtis just say?
This is where I want a college, because I want.
He said he wants a college. By that, what he means is he's trying to find a university or a college that would partner up with him, send students out, bring out their innovation, bring out their technology, and see a one-of-a-kind operation, an operation they're not going to get to see in a classroom, because this is the real world. This is the real struggle. Seems like a great idea to me for a college to partner up with them.
We started this a week ago.
A week ago? Yeah. And this is going to be the corporate offices, right?
This is the corporate office. This is going to be your main lobby area. We're going to have a coffee bar, refrigerator, all that here. We're going to have a big TV, and then we're going to have the big 4J logo as it comes in here. This office will have the marketing. We'll have marketing, sales, and our shipping and receiving, and our bookkeeper.
Okay.
All right.
Most important person right there.
The cash flow is impossible, honey, and nobody can figure out the backer.
They figured out the backer.
Well, Beth, they figured out a lot. You see, it all starts with the land. At the 4J Ranch, it has an abundance of water. The Brazos River runs through here. They have several stock ponds that are here, and they are in the process of building a much bigger one, almost a lake. Soil management is a big part of any operation. At the 4J Ranch, they're using cutting-edge technology that was developed by, guess who? American universities, as was the genetically superior seeds that they use. You see, they want to produce a grass that's not only high in nutrients, but is hardy and recovers very quickly. Other crops are scheduled to be planted. You see, their vision is to create their own feed, not really only just for them, but for other ranchers in the area. And they have a very bold plan to do that. Here in Newcastle, Texas, just like a lot of other small towns, you see some of these co-op mills have went out of business because bigger companies or foreign countries have bought them out. And down at the 4J, they have acquired this, and they're going to light it back up and bring it back to its glory. And not only for their ranch and, for their beef production, but to help out the other people in the community. If ranching is anything, it is about the community. So we got water, we got grass, and we're making our own feed. Where does the cattle come from? Where does the livestock come from? Well, some of it is cow-calf operation that happens here. The calves are actually born here and then spend their entire lives here. Other cow-calf operations in the areas, the ones that couldn't get over that huge hurdle, but they want to be a farm-to-table operation, that's what this is about. We're going to join forces with them and bring theirs in, as long as they follow the strict program that the 4J has laid out. They also have a pretty sophisticated culling program here. Now, what that is they measure the weight gain of a calf, as it grows up and how healthy it's being, and they're able to track that. Ones that don't really meet their standard, then they end up going to the sale barn. They don't want any mean cows out here either, because those cows disrupt the herd and they cause stress. It's another reason why they use horses to work the cattle as opposed to the ATVs, because gas-powered equipment spooks cows and causes them, to have stress. And just like human beings, they don't perform well under stress. The way that they collect this data is done through this high-tech squeeze chute system that measures, amongst many things, weight gain. They take that information and they can see if a calf is growing to their standards on what particular feed. And if it doesn't measure up, then they either change the feed or they cull the cow out of their system because it doesn't meet the 4J standard. It's also important to measure the temperament of a cow and the way that they go through the system. Again, that's why they use horses. And here on the 4J, some of the finest horses you'll find because they have backgrounds in ranches like the 4.6s, the Wagner, and the King Ranch. Pretty Texas stuff. And beef, maybe what's for dinner, but it's not the only thing on the 4J. Curtis told us about the pork that's being raised here. What he didn't mention was that they have goats and rabbits. Yeah, he's a good-looking rabbit. She's a good-looking rabbit. You don't want to play with me, do you? I knew Casey Jones, and I had a lot of respect for him. And I'm not surprised that he laid out this vision and then gave them a direction, and he financed it. So they had the resources to carry out what he wanted them to do. I mean, we've talked about a lot of things, but listen to this one.
All of that because our future plans is we're going to, on the Weaver place, we're going to end up with a 200 by 600 rodeo arena.
Okay.
4 colleges for play days and everybody for around Young County because they don't really have that much besides an indoor arena, and a lot of your young cowboys don't like that. They like that open environment.
Yeah. A competition arena for schools to use. That's cool. Casey put all of this together and he gave them, the best equipment he possibly could. But at no point in all of this presentation have we answered the question that John Dutton had. How do you figure out the Packers? Well, here we go. You see, you don't figure out the Packers. You don't go into their wheelhouse and work under their rules and try to figure it out. What you do is you become the Packer. The 4J Ranch did it under the premise of farm-to-table operations. That's a specific section set up by the USDA. They began this process by hiring a USDA consultant that helped guide them through the farm-to-table operation guidelines under the USDA Act. And by doing that, they not only assured that they wouldn't go out there and make mistakes during construction, that they would build a state-of-the-art facility that would that would be able to supply their needs now and even grow. But the best thing about that was that they were able to take that 2-year window that we talked about and now move it down to 6 months. They'll be operational in 6 months after they hire the after they've hired the USDA consultant. So now we have a true farm-to-table operation. Most of them are born here, they're raised here, they're harvested here, and then shipped to the end consumer. All of that sounds pretty cool, but it isn't Casey Jones cool. You see, Casey even envisioned something more, as you could tell, with trying to involve the colleges in helping them and them helping him. But more than that, more than all of this just being to preserve the legacy of the 4J Ranch for generations to come, he did the same thing for other operations that want to be farm-to-table operations, you see, because now they're going to be allowed to use this facility that Casey Jones envisioned and then the Jones family built, to create their own legacies, to be able to save their operations as well. This huge investment that the Jones family has made not only benefits them, other ranchers, agriculture in general, as well as colleges, but the consumer. Now we get to choose where we want to buy our meat. We don't have to eat what Brazil's shoving down our throat. Now we have a choice. I'm going to exercise my choice by asking God to help them. And if God doesn't mind, I'd like to get in there and help a little bit myself too, by going out there and telling this incredible story through video form, and also calling up farm-to-table operations and buying from them. I got a feeling it's going to make my ribeye taste a little bit better.